welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Daria, and today I have a video unlike any other video on my channel. I guess if you see my kinds of videos, you will see that I do have a few Euro summer vlogs, and I've been doing Euro summers before I guess they were even called Euro summers. I've been going every single year since 2015, except obviously 2020, 2021 for obvious reasons. But yeah, I go every year. I am European, so I do kind of go see my family as well. But a country that I love is Spain. I've been to Barcelona. It's been a while, so I definitely think I need to go back. But I want to talk about Mallorca and Ibiza specifically. Those are two cities that I absolutely loved going to. I went in summer of 2023. I just kind of want to give you my recs in case you have some. I guess most of you book your flights and plan your trips already, but in case you want any recs, I know I spent a while looking for where to go and I didn't want to miss anything, so I made a whole list for you guys. I also have them on my Instagram highlights. I guess some of these places aren't in the photos there, but if you do want to see anything that I'm talking about, they're on my Instagram highlights, and I'll definitely write everything on the screen for you when I'm talking about it, because I know I'm gonna butcher the names of everything, so apologies to anyone that is going to cringe really hard at my pronunciations, because I know I am. But yeah, let's start with Mallorca. Like I said, I went 2 years ago, like summer 2023 in August, so obviously it was very hot. It was peak Euro summer, and I stayed in Palma. It was just very central, and we didn't rent a car, which is something that I would definitely recommend doing. We just didn't have an international license because we're from Montreal and you need that, and we weren't even aware. So you do need that before going. I don't know if it's still the same. I'm assuming yes. But yeah, so we couldn't rent a car or a scooter. So we did kind of have to rely on public transport, but honestly dealing with the buses there was very easy. And most of the beaches that we wanted to go to had like direct pretty much buses. So I recommend staying in Palma. It's central, and that's kind of where we had our base, and then we went around the island. We were there for 4 days, I think, so that's definitely a decent amount of time. I would stay even longer if you could, but 4 days is a good amount. So yeah, that's kind of where we first got to when we got there. And then we just walked around for a bit. Obviously there's the famous cathedral of Mallorca that's there, and there's like cute little stores by the water, really cute. And the shopping in Palma is so good. I was obsessed with the stores. I remember the Zara being really nice, and I love Zara, so I'm quite the critic when it comes to that. But yeah, so that's where we stayed. And then every day we basically just beach hopped. So I have a list of beaches that I literally think about all the time. They live rent free in my head. But the first one is Cala Deià. It was very rocky, so if you guys go, definitely bring water shoes to literally any of these beaches. We didn't go prepared, so we didn't have any, so our legs were bruised and scratched up. But I definitely recommend bringing water shoes. And yeah, Cala Deià was very rocky. Like, if I recall correctly, there's no sand at the beach. It's literally rocks, so be prepared for that. Definitely not the most comfortable to sit and just chill in, but the water was amazing, and yeah, just beautiful. And I remember there was a restaurant right there. We couldn't go because it was fully booked out, you know, as you would expect, but it was beautiful. And then we went to Cala Llombards, which I guess you've seen a bunch of times on socials. It's again a rocky beach, and there's a bunch of cliffs. People go cliff jumping there, and the only thing that was rough about that was how many stairs you have to go up and down at just to get to the beach. Obviously it wasn't like life or death, but climbing those stairs back up after spending a few hours at that beach was definitely a struggle for us. So yeah, also I'm pretty sure it was there that we had to kind of hike down the mountain for half an hour, because where the bus dropped us off was like way higher than where the beach was actually at. But that's just because we didn't have a car and we weren't prepared. So you can be prepared, go with the car, go with the scooter, and you'll be just fine. But yeah, that was gorgeous. And then we went to Cala Llombards. I feel like I'm totally messing how I'm saying that up, but This is, I'd say, probably the most famous Instagram spot. It's where those little houses are near the water. I'll show you clips again so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you've seen this on your socials. So that's where that is. Also great. That one had actual sand. We stayed there, we tanned for a bit, so definitely less rocky than the other ones, except obviously on the sides, but the actual beach was great. And then we went to Cala Deià. That had the least amount of people, but it's also because we went kind of towards the end of the day, so I don't know if it's like that populated on average, but when we went, it was like so serene, so calm. There were beautiful white houses that were nearing the beach, and we were just like manifesting our life there. It was a great end of day place. So yeah, definitely less people, and there was sand if I recall correctly, but also a great beach. Honestly, I don't think Mallorca has any non-beautiful beaches, so you definitely do go there for that. And yeah, those were my favorite ones, and the ones that we had time to go to. There are a bunch more, but I'd say these ones were probably also just the most mainstream ones. I definitely don't have any like on the DL spots, but these ones are definitely beautiful, and I highly recommend all of them. And then for cities slash places I went to, when we were going to Cala Deià, I'm pretty sure, we stopped in the city called Valldemossa, and it was so cute. It was so small, there were not a lot of people, and everything was just giving little village vibes, and it was honestly a great stop for us. So I recommend going there. And then I think the most like party city there is Magaluf, which honestly we went in the dead middle of the day, so it wasn't really that much of a party time, but that's definitely where I know most people go to party, and it was definitely the most crowded place. We passed by the beach and it was like people everywhere, so I'd say definitely it's a popular spot, a lot of families. So yeah, that's also to consider. But then in Palma, the shopping there, like I said, was iconic. I'm pretty sure the main either street or spot is called Paseo del Borne. R.I.P. But yeah, that was, I'm pretty sure that's where the Zara is and where a bunch of the gorgeous stores are. Honestly, anything in Palma, I was obsessed. Anything in Mallorca, period. But yeah, and then restaurants, I'm gonna disclaim that fact that I'm not really a foodie. So I don't know if I would completely trust my judgment when it comes to food, but we did go to like 4 spots that I really did enjoy, and I feel like you guys could potentially enjoy as well. We went to La Melinda, which is in Palma, and it was a great brunch spot. There was actually a line to wait there to like sit down outside, so I'd say it's popular, question mark. I don't really know, we just walked by and it looked cute. We had brunch and it was really good. And then there is a main street where they kind of have clubs slash bars, and we went to the Lab cocktail bar. The drinks were cute, like one of them literally had like fire on it. It was pretty iconic. And yeah, that street, I wouldn't say Palma is the best for parties, because pretty sure at like 10-11 p.m. they just like stop music and you're just existing at the bar. We literally played cards last time we went. So yeah, that street where the Lab cocktail bar is definitely where the most club slash bars are, but again, it's not like the most party city. And then when we went to Cala Deià, we went to a pizza spot called Pizzetario Mallorca Cala. Most English pronunciation you'll ever hear, but it was really good, and the owner was so cute and so wholesome. He literally gave us free like shots, and we were taking it with them, and he was taking photos for us, and it was really cute. So definitely recommend going there. And then when we were in Palma, we went to another brunch spot called Plant Shack. Obviously it's more like English, so definitely not local, I would say. Maybe it is and they just have an English name, but we had smoothie bowls and it was great. Again, like I said, my friend was literally vegan and I am gluten-free, not by choice. I have celiac, so I can't recommend the most like food savvy places, but that was that. And then yeah, that was Mallorca. Honestly, like I said, like 4 days was good if you actually want to stay and enjoy a beach a day. For example, we kind of went beach hopping or like just tan and do nothing and chill. I'd say at least stay a week, and you could literally even spend like 1 week on one side of the island and 1 week on the other. Like I would stay for way longer than 4 days, but 4 days was decent enough for us to kind of see the vibes. I'm definitely going back. I really consider going back this summer, so definitely recommend. Okay, now let's talk about Ibiza. I actually took the ferry from Ibiza to Mallorca, so it was honestly really easy. It was like, what, 2-hour boat ride? It's basically right there. But yeah, Ibiza, I cannot wait to go back. I think I was talking about going to Ibiza since I was 12. So I finally made it when I was 22. But yeah, I would say obviously it's known for like the parties and everything, but I discovered just how beautiful Ibiza is by itself and how many people go there as families. We were shook. And yeah, the beaches are gorgeous. Obviously it's close to Mallorca, so kind of, I wouldn't say the same beach vibes, but it would make sense that it's also known for its beaches. And yeah, the old town was so beautiful. I just remember every little corner was just so cute. There were so many flowers, and the shopping was insane, you guys. I spent like half a day there. That's also where the Annie's Ibiza store is. If you know all those cute dresses, obviously they're like $2,000-$3,000. So if that's your vibe, honestly, I love it for you. But yeah, Annie's Ibiza, I recommend going, even if it's just to see the dresses in person. They are gorgeous. But we basically stayed kind of midway through the old town and where kind of the main clubbing area was. So our area was actually pretty chill, and it was honestly easy to go to either side. So yeah, I did spend a day in Old Town, and I highly recommend going, and that's where the port is, like all the cute boats. But yeah, we did go for the parties. I think obviously clubbing is where we spent most of our time, so I'm going to give you the ones that we went to, and I'm going to tell you kind of what I think about them. So we went to Ushuaia twice. Our first night when we saw Steve Aoki, and then we saw Calvin Harris. It is so incredibly packed. We were so smushed when we were trying to get to the front. We kind of gave up. Well, I kind of gave up. It was just it's so many people, but honestly the vibes are great. Obviously there's the people that stay in the hotel, and you can literally see, if you stay at the Ushuaia Towers hotel, you can literally see the set from your hotel room balcony. So if you can do that, I highly recommend doing that. But yeah, there's also in the back where there's the bar, there's 2 kind of floors, and you can see if you don't really want to be in the middle of the action. And obviously there's VIP and everything, but like we were general admission, and obviously it was packed, but the vibes were still good. So I do obviously recommend going there. It's iconic, and there's like the flights that go above you, and like, yeah, anyways, Ushuaia, yes. Our favorite was definitely Hiii Ibiza. I think it's ranked the #1 club in the world, which like honestly makes sense. We did end up at a table and then like behind the DJ, which kind of very like white girls of us, but yeah, I loved everything about them. We went to see Afterlife, and that was my first time seeing them in person, because we also went to see them in Vegas, and I highly recommend going to Hiii Ibiza. Again, it's very packed, so anywhere you go to the club here, you're gonna be kind of like packed like sardines, so just expect that going in, but great vibes. Then one night we went to Baloo Ibiza. I think after Ushuaia, it was honestly just a very chill club. There was like Latin music, I think, yeah, and it was honestly, it was great. It was cute, and it was kind of not where the main clubs were. It was a little bit lower down, and yeah, it was very chill. And then our last night we went to Pacha. That club was insane. Like the amount of entertainment, like there were people like hanging from the ceiling, and I would say that was probably the most packed of any of the clubs we've been to. We couldn't even walk, so we just stayed at the top. I know people were like fighting their way to get to the middle. If you go somewhat late, because I'm pretty sure we got there around 2 a.m. Good luck to you. But the music was great, and they also had a different room with a different kind of music, so that's that for Pacha. And then we did go to a beach club during the day, which was O Beach. Again, very cool. There was like pools, they have entertainment. It's honestly very blessed. So that's where I would honestly recommend going to all of these. Just like prepare yourself mentally that you're going to be on people. But yeah, that was that. And then we did take a day trip to Formentera, which I highly recommend. The beach there was just, well, it's kind of an island, so the beach all around was just so beautiful. The blue was insane. And yeah, we did take a ferry. It was a short ferry, and you can buy tickets either in the port or literally online, and we looked up, it's obviously very easy. And yeah, we went to, like, I would say probably the most famous beach there, if I'm not mistaken, Cala de Mort, and it is again very rocky, kind of like Mallorca on the left side, and then the right side kind of had more sand. And yeah, it was very enjoyable. And there's a restaurant right there called Cupina, and we did book a place there, and it was, again, don't trust our judgment for food. I don't think we're the best people for that, but the view was insane. So if you're down to at least have a gorgeous view, the food will be just fine. It was honestly good. It's just, yeah, like I said, we're not the most pretentious foodies. So yeah, they did also, okay, the thing with this is that because we didn't have a license and we couldn't rent a scooter, we had to kind of figure out how to get to the beach by ourselves. And like, we took a taxi there because they have taxi points to get there. We were like, okay, perfect, we got there. And then when we were at the beach, we were like, okay, well, there's no more taxi points. We had no phone numbers because we don't use our data when we're there, well, when we're traveling, and we didn't know. So we had to go back to the restaurant and then ask them if they could kindly call us a taxi, and it was like, no problem. It's just, that's something to consider. Like, you are kind of stuck where you are if you don't have anything around you that you could kindly ask to call a taxi for you if you don't have a phone number. So consider that. Definitely, I would say book again a scooter or a taxi or something, or like rent a car for the day or something, just so you can like kind of get around easier. But yeah, where the port kind of was, where the water was, like near the water, there were a lot of cute stores. Like, they had a lot of trinkets, and the clothing was so good. I would say it was a little expensive, but I wanted to buy everything there. So I definitely recommend just honestly walking through Formentera as well. And yeah, that was our day trip. And then we got back and we went to the club. And for restaurants, I only have 3 that I would kind of tell you I recommend, because we didn't really eat out. We would eat like casual things on the go. One of them I didn't even eat at. It's called La Oliva, and it's kind of in front of Annie's Ibiza. I've seen so many people talk about it, but when I went, it just like didn't fit in our schedule, or like they didn't have a spot or whatever, like when we were there. But I would recommend going there just off of the vibes that I saw, and I saw that it was packed, so I would say it's probably good. When I was in the old town, I ate a great poke bowl at a place called El Moray. That was really good. It was by the water. It was very cute. And then we had a brunch spot at our hotel, and it was called Horizon Ibiza, and it was, again, blessed, and it was by the beach, and it was pretty cheap also. I wouldn't say anything was too expensive, I'm not gonna lie. If you compare it to Montreal prices, the prices of drinks and everything were kind of the same, so for us it wasn't like that much of a shock. But I would say like Mallorca and Ibiza are definitely higher up there in price. But yeah, and that was like the general breakdown of our trips. Again, you can literally see the vlogs that I have of both these places on my YouTube channel. If you scroll to 2023 this summer, I have both of them up if you want to see it in detail, anything else. And I also have them in my Insta highlights. So yeah, I'd say also just general tips for Euro summer. If you're from, I'm probably like North America, I don't know. Obviously I'm from Canada, so that's why I'm speaking about this, but you don't have data on your phone, obviously, when you're, but unless you want to pay for it every day, but it does add up after your, a few days. We always get eSIMs. Honestly, just Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about, but an eSIM is great. Like I said, you don't have a phone number, that's why we couldn't call a taxi, but an eSIM is always great. It's way cheaper, and you can literally use your phone anywhere if you get it for the specific place you're going to. And yeah, if you're like us, either you don't have a license or you're just like not down to rent a car or like drive somewhere foreign, I would always recommend staying in the most popular / central city anywhere you're going. Like for example, Mallorca, we stayed in Palma because that's where all the buses to the other main cities were, and it was just so convenient and so cheap and so just easy that if we would have stayed in another smaller city, it would have been kind of harder to get around and kind of figure out what we're doing. So yeah, I would always say stay central if you do want to explore somewhere. Don't forget portable chargers. Our phones were on the brink of death a few times, so I would highly recommend having a portable charger. You never know. I feel like in European cities, at least most of them that I've been to, you can't just find plugs anywhere to charge your phone. I don't know why. I feel like in Montreal it's like so easy to find a plug in a wall and just charge your phone, but like I would say also obviously traveling is a little more like stressful. You think about more things, so yeah, portable chargers. And then because it's 40 degrees during summers, get a fan or like anything to kind of take the heat off, because it can get a bit frustrating when you're dying of heat and there's like a lot going on, and especially at like clubs and venues and stuff, when you're all crammed up, like you don't want to have an anxiety attack because everyone's on you. So definitely consider getting something because it's really so hot. But yeah, that was my Mallorca and Ibiza guide. I definitely plan on doing cities that I've been to after. I think next I'm gonna do Paris and south of France. I've also been to London, I've been to Istanbul, I've been to Vienna, Bratislava, I've been to Budapest. I've been everywhere honestly at this point. This summer I'm also going away for a few weeks, so you guys are gonna see the vlog for that. But yeah, if you have any city that you would like, and honestly even if I haven't been there I can make a guide for you, but based on what I've seen. But yeah, if you have a city that you're requesting or like more questions about what I've said, let me know and I'll gladly answer them for you. But yeah, that's where I've been. That's where your girl went 2 years ago, and definitely plans on going back. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.